Hey guys, what's up? This is Evan with Data Unmasked. Today's video is going to be our final in our mini-series on Postgres Introduction. And today we're going to be learning about using data within Postgres itself, writing some queries, loading up some data. We're going to be loading some data from a CSV file onto our database. We're going to write a couple of queries. And then at the end, there's going to be a bonus segment on RDM. So, that's something that's going to tee up a future series here where we talk about why reference data is important and how it can help you run your business. All that and more coming up. Now we get to do some of the fun stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump in. The tool that I'm using for an IDE is PgAdmin. Now, I like PgAdmin. You can download PgAdmin with or without Postgres 10. Since we're doing Postgres through our VM, it's not necessary, or any other version of Postgres actually, you download this. It's not really necessary to download the database with it because we're going to be using this just to connect out to the database, but you can do that if you want to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect to PgAdmin. So I have that just over here stored in my IDEs. All right. Now PgAdmin is a browser-based tool, so it's going to pop up in a browser window whenever it finally loads up. All right. Now you don't have to use PgAdmin. What is my password? All right. You don't have to use PgAdmin. There's a lot of other things you can use that are going to work really well with Postgres. You got DataGrip, Valentina Studio, SQL Workbench, whichever ones you like. I like DataGrip, but since I don't have a license, I'm going to use PgAdmin because it's free. And free is, everybody ignore everything that's happened. Let's go to server group. All right, so we're going to do data unmasked video. We're going to create a server in there. So data, actually create a server in there. Data unmasked video 1. And our connection is going to be just our IP address we made. Our username is going to be Vagrant. And our password is going to be Vagrant123. Oh, there we go. All right, it was just taking a while. That's helpful. All right, so now we're going to come in here. We can see our DU demo. We can see our schemas. We can see video 1. All right, so now we can see that video 1 schema. We're going to come in here. We're going to right click, and then we're going to go down to Query Tool. Query Tool is what's going to let us actually write some code. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to load up a data set. Now we're going to run a query and see how that goes. So the data set that we're going to use, I picked out a cool one. So this is from data.gov. Now, I'll leave a link to this in the description. For anyone that hasn't used data.gov before, this is a really cool website. You can go on here and find all kinds of free files. There's just event reports for operating nuclear reactors. It's a monthly report. It was pretty simple, but it was cool data. So I figured we just grab this and run a quick query on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click download on that. I'll give us a copy of the data. So I'm just going to copy it all. I'm going to come back over to VS Code. Come in here, I'm going to do a new file. And I'm going to do, what did I call this? I called this event. Oh boy. All right. It's weird. My screens are not synced right, which is why I'm very confused. Okay. Event notification report last month.txt. All right, so now I have it in here. I can just drop our 72-line file in that has a header. Hit save. And then if you want to see what the schema for this is, we have that as well. Just grab that. I have the link for it. The schema. right, so our schema is popping up now. So here is our schema file. All right, so what we're gonna do to get fields, they're gonna map up good. We're just gonna take these fields, make a new worksheet, paste them in. Now we're gonna want this to be lower, and we're gonna wanna get rid of those spaces. So the way we're gonna do that is we're gonna use substitute, lower, pick our field, get outside of the lower, and we are going to substitute underscores for our spaces. I have too many parameters because I was not far enough over on the parentheses. Oh boy. Substitute lower field circular reference A1. There we go. All right, so now we're gonna fill down. Now, since we're just loading this, I'm gonna make this a text format. I can fill that down. Say equals concatenate a space, concatenate our data type, and throw in a comma. We'll fill that down. Then we'll come down to the bottom and manually get rid of that comma. All right, so now what we can do is we can do our create statement and put all of those fields into it. So at this point, I'm gonna jump back over to VS Code since we already have that. And we're just gonna come in here and we're gonna make a new file. And we're gonna call it demo SQL, not SQL. And now what we can do with that is we're gonna grab our create table. All right, so this create table here is gonna be just your create table, if not exists, so it's idempotent. Schema is video 1. We're gonna call this the NRC event notification report. Then we're gonna paste in all those lines that we just made in Excel. So then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this, come over to PgAdmin, and we'll execute. So we now have a table. And now that we have our table there, let's load some data into it. Now this is why it's important to use Vagrant. So I'm gonna walk through something that's kind of weird here. So this path has to be what it is on the server. So you can see over here, let me exit out of the Postgres user. Now if I go to the home path, you're gonna see I'm at that home Vagrant. And now if I do an ls, I'm gonna see GitHub. This is at the wrong level apparently. That's not good. It copied all of my code. I will fix this in the real one. This is the right path for the real one. I am going to have to, I didn't update this from the demo though that I was practicing on. So I will update it to get rid of the GitHub portion of this. But our repo that we're working in is data unmasked video 1. So I'll put data unmasked video 1. Is that a -1 or just 1? -1. Okay, cool. So -1. Now the important thing to remember is this has to be an exact path. You can't use any relative paths. Now this is a piped limited file. So you may be wondering, why am I using CSV? I'm using CSV because the file has a header. And I just gave 2 dummy characters for the quote, for the fields and the escape for the special characters, just because I didn't feel like going through and stripping out the header. So with that being done, I should be able to run this copy command. Perfect, copied 71 records in. And now I can take a look at what some of this data looks like. And there's all my records. So, we had 72 lines in the file. We now have 71 records in the table. So that means we got them all. So I put together a quick query just to show, why data is fun in a way. This is going to take a look at the region number. When you scan through this, you can kind of see that the region is, this is really a hierarchy. The region is the parent of the state. The state is a parent of the site name. And then the site name is probably a parent of the type of event, which is going to be classified as emergency or non-emergency. So we want to look at, for a specific site, and be able to group it by different geographic territories. How many times did something go wrong? So let's see what we got there. And you can see we have by region, by state, by the site name, what's going on. So you can see the University of Mississippi had 2 non-emergency events. Now we could put dates in here and figure out how that worked, or we could just be going off of what we have. The other thing to think about here is that this is supposed to be reference data. So this is all caps and this is not all caps. And if I scroll down a bit, this is null, which doesn't even make any sense. So why would I have an event if there wasn't some type of emergency class? This is going to come up in a future video. This is, issues with reference data. So, guys, that brings us to the end of this video. If you liked what you saw today and you liked the content that we have here, once again, remember to make sure to subscribe, like the video, click the notification bell so that you get notified whenever there's new stuff coming out. And if you wouldn't mind jumping over to Twitter and Instagram and give us a follow on there, really appreciate it. Stay tuned. Going to be trying to release videos about every other week. Looking forward to getting back, at this soon and coming up with another cool topic that we can talk about. If you have any questions or anything that didn't make sense or anything that you want to see or get clarification on, put them in the comments below. I read and respond to every comment. Thanks so much. Have a great day. All right, guys, so that wraps up all the videos for this series. Thanks so much for sticking with me through this, watching all the videos, learning a lot about Postgres, and just being a part of our community. If you got value out of these videos, please give us a like and a follow. Please subscribe to the channel. Make sure to jump on over to Instagram and Twitter. Follow us over there so you can see the latest news when we're either talking about cool stuff with data or putting out new videos. Until next time, see you guys later.